All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Buster Call. This is going to be a live stream series where we touch down on like every One Piece topic. We leave nothing, uncovered. We're just going to annihilate the whole battlefield. And for this episode, the beginning of the series, I got Marshall D. Preach with me. I'm so excited to have him here. How you doing today, bro?
Hey man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into some interesting topics. I know both of us, we got a theory-minded approach to One Piece, so it's going to be interesting.
Yes, sir. And with recent developments in like 1080, 1081 as far as Blackbeard goes, and the whole law situation, I was particularly excited to get with you because I already know some of your thoughts when it comes to Blackbeard and law.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one that we gotta talk about. We even made a video on it recently, I think a few months ago. So yeah, we definitely have to touch on that.
For sure. Just for like all the new people here, do you mind telling us who you are, what you do, like what do you have going on? Like, who are you?
Yeah, so most people call me Preach, and I run the Marshall D. Preach channel with my friend Wizard of Wars. Been doing videos for I think about a year. I've been taking it more seriously for about a year now, and yeah, man, just making One Piece videos, theories. We really focus on theories, but as well, we're trying to branch out into more things now. Power scaling. I do spoiler videos now, so yeah, just trying new things, but still sticking with the theories. It's just they take longer, so those gotta come slower. But usually those are our biggest videos. And yeah, man, I still remember when I first did my first collab with you. It was my first collab ever. I was at like, I think 1,000 subs, maybe not even that. So yeah, man. No, and the crazy thing is too, when I first started making YouTube videos, I first started going to One Piece. I saw your channel kind of growing, and it was a newer channel. So I was like, if Threevo could do it, then I might as well give it a shot. So one of my inspirations when I first started out.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. A few people have told me that, but it's always still amazing because like I feel like you might be able to relate to my position, because I'm sure there's creators that maybe whether you know it or not, they're inspired by you. And we're both cooking One Piece videos. We've been doing this for some time, and we've both been in the theory game. I feel like when it comes to like people in the One Piece space, you're one of like the few that I feel like I could actually really relate to and just hit up whenever I need something.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I remember the first time we ever talked, we talked about One Piece and stuff, and then like an hour after that, we just talked about YouTube and just a bunch of other things as well. So yeah, man, I definitely feel that.
All right. So you said you're doing One Piece theories. I know as far as like your videos, you have like the whole like the Laugh's Tale. You have the Shimotsuki D Zoro, and then I've been obviously following you for a long time. Like, I'm sure some of these videos, and even like the Ultimate God Valley video, I'm sure a lot of your videos have been viewed, and a lot of my supporters know about your channel. Is there any video in particular that you would deem as like your best work that you would want everybody to see?
It's kind of funny because you mentioned those theories, and I do love making theories, but the one video that I think is my most proud video is a Whitebeard analysis video where I just basically just talk about every reason why I love Whitebeard, and when he's one of my favorite characters too, so it's something different. I haven't made that many videos like that, but yeah, that video is pretty big, and I think if you watch it, I think if you love Whitebeard, you'll definitely like that video. I got a lot of comments on it, and a lot of comments that say, man, this is your best video ever, so definitely check that one out if you haven't already. But yeah, that's my personal favorite.
All right. And I've seen that video, and I know that video, and you chose the perfect character, because whenever I give my list of like top 10 characters, Whitebeard has to be in there. So it's interesting that you chose someone like him, and you just knocked that out the park. It seems like it was a match made in heaven as far as content goes.
Yeah, it was weird because I remember at first I posted it, and when YouTube, when you have your rhythm of making theories and making certain kind of videos, they don't push it out to the right audience right away. So but over time, like, I knew deep down that video was so good, and so even though it kind of flopped at first, I just had confidence that it would eventually reach the right audience, and eventually it did. And it's kind of funny too, because the One Piece is real memes. I think that honestly, I think that really pushed it out there and just got it really big. It's kind of funny, like just the perfect timing.
That was the whole One Piece. The One Piece is real thing. That was a moment in time, man. Like that grabbed everyone on the internet, bro.
Yeah, even like non One Piece fans were still knew that meme and stuff. So, yeah.
All right, my headphones got unplugged, but I heard like the tail end of that. But we did get 20 gifted from our boy Ronnie. 20 gifted memberships, bro. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Bro, has he been at any of the OPU streams? Has he discovered the magic of OPU?
Yeah, man, I see him in the streams all the time. I see him in the Discord. You know, I've seen him all over the place, man. And he's been real supportive, and I've seen him even in smaller channels as well. So yeah, man, shout out to Ronnie for sure.
Ronnie's a real one, and shout out to John Sharada in the chat too. Ronnie with the 20 gifted, and Mr. Bushido with the 2. Is that Euro? Watching on bus, been stuck in traffic 2 hours. Oh hell nah, bro. Traffic got to be the worst thing, especially if you're late somewhere, late to work or late to school.
Yeah, that's when you throw in a threeville theory and just go into like a playlist and just chill out for a second.
Nah, bro. All right, so man, there's a lot we need to talk about just because of 1081 just to begin with. The whole GARP situation. You have Law, you know, trying to swim away. So right now, where do you sit with One Piece? Where do you sit with what Oda gave you in 1081?
I absolutely loved it, man. I think the last 3 chapters have all been 10 out of 10s for me. I know some people say the last chapter 1080 was better than this one. I think it's just as good because, you know, we got that big moment with Garp, the Galaxy Impact. But I think just seeing Kuzan and seeing him fight Garp is just something that I've always dreamed of. It's like I could have never imagined it. It's like a something just I've always wanted, something like this. 2 Marines that are this powerful clashing, and it's just amazing to me that Oda's really going this route, and seeing it, like really seeing it, it's just shocking to me, man. So I love this chapter.
Yeah, I do agree with you. It's like the whole Garp versus Aokiji, it seems so perfect, but so not perfect at the same time. As you said, like these 2 guys are Marines, and you know, Aokiji seems to have that belief. It seems like he has that justice where he cares about Ohara, and he kind of strikes me as a character that would almost rebel against the world government. He seems like he would probably be someone that fits the bill for Sword. And you know, a lot of people would say Garp's the same, but the interesting contrast between Aokiji and Garp is Aokiji left the Marines while Garp stayed. So do you think like Oda's gonna explore a really deep contrast between these 2 characters?
Yeah, it's interesting too, especially because we learn now that Kuzan was the apprentice to Garp at one point. So I think he definitely has learned a lot from Garp. There's even that I think chapter 0 where we see Kuzan looking up to Garp, and he's like his biggest hero, his idol, his inspiration for the Marines. But it's I think when he lost to Akainu, I think one of his goals was to become Fleet Admiral, and I think that really not being able to accomplish that, I think it kind of stopped his dreams in a way. Like I think he wanted to do something by becoming Fleet Admiral, and so I think that was a big turning point for Kuzan, because now he has to go a different route of achieving his dream. So I think joining Blackbeard, maybe that's the thing we got to ask, like what is it about joining Blackbeard that correlates to his dream and to his ambition now? Because we saw in this chapter, Blackbeard said, I think I don't remember the exact quote that he said, but it was something about agendas, and saying that what makes a pirate is their dreams and their ambitions, their agenda. So now I think that's the big question that we got to ask now.
Right. I see where you're going with that. Yeah, there's a lot bubbling between them. Do you think this is going to be a fight where one has to go down, one has to lose? Or do you feel like Oda might take the direction where the fight's interrupted? Maybe they split up for some reason. Do you think there's going to be one clear winner between like Garp and, you know, the whole Blackbeard Pirates?
It's tough, man, because whoever loses this, it's just a tough loss, whoever it is. If it's Garp, you know, he's older, but like he needs to win to save Kobe, right? And if we're going the opposite way, if Kuzan loses to Garp, it's not a good look for him, especially because Garp's old, Kuzan's in his prime, so it's a tough loss for whoever it is. I don't know if Oda wants to do that, but if I had to pick someone to lose, I think I would just go with Garp, just off the old age. I think it's really close though. I think it's really like a high diff, very close fight. And it would be, I guess, seen as like a sacrifice maybe if Garp lost. But yeah, I'm interested. What do you think about that?
I do think there's gonna be one clear winner here. It's just I don't really have. So okay, if there's two characters that are having some kind of conflict and they're fighting, I usually don't add a fight interruption into the mix unless I feel like there's good reason to. And like right now when it comes to Garp versus Aokiji and the Blackbeard Pirates, I don't feel like there's a good reason to interrupt that fight. So what I think about what the story would look like if Garp loses versus what the story would look like if the Blackbeard Pirates lose, I feel like for the Blackbeard Pirates, it'll be a very difficult thing for Oda to make Blackbeard seem like an obstacle if the Blackbeard Pirates lose here, because not only is one, they'd be losing, which just doesn't make you look good, but two, that would run the risk of the Blackbeard Pirates getting captured. And me personally, I don't know if I see Blackbeard going for another Impel Down 2.0. I'm kind of on the no side. So the way I summarize this whole thing in my head is if Garp wins, Blackbeard loses like almost half his crew, but if the Blackbeard Pirates win, then we lose one of the most famous and courageous marine heroes.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's just gonna be interesting because we see like a lot of people now, they're hopping onto the bandwagon, the Garp bandwagon, and they don't want to see Garp lose. So it's gonna be tough to see. But like even me, Garp's one of my favorite characters. So like these last two chapters have been amazing for me. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun to see. I really hope he doesn't cut away from this. We were blessed with that last chapter, 1081, that he didn't go to something else. So I hope that he does it again for this next chapter.
100%. We got a super chat from Mr. Bushido again. Beppo Sulong is feeding my carrot Nakama agenda. Well, where do you stand on that, Preach? Do you feel like there's going to be any more Straw Hats? Does Carrot seem like she has a chance? What are your whole thoughts on that, the whole Straw Hat crew right now?
If I had to pick one Straw Hat, I'm leaning Bonnie. I don't know if there has to be another Straw Hat, but if I had to pick one, that would be it. I've never been a huge fan of Carrot, and I honestly feel like her run with the Straw Hats has kind of run its course. Especially in Wano, she didn't really have too much screen time, too much interactions with the Straw Hats. So I'm not really on that Carrot wave with the Straw Hats, but it would be cool to see Carrot in the final war for sure. Like if she comes back, part of the or maybe not part of the Alliance, the Fleet Alliance, but just she's an ally in her own way. As the leader of the Minks now, especially. So I think we're definitely going to see her in the final war, fighting alongside Beppo, Chopper, some other characters as well. And one idea that I've had is like if Chopper can do this with the Beppo Sulong thing, it would be crazy to see if like Beppo and Carrot and Chopper are leading this Mink military force, and then they come up with like the entire military force has the Sulongs. Even in the day, like that would be crazy to see in the final war.
That would be crazy. And I agree with every part you said. The whole Mink thing, I think like Carrot, she's gonna be definitely one of the leaders when it comes to the Minks in the final war. I definitely agree with that. And if I'm not mistaken, you began your answer by saying you think Bonnie's gonna join.
Yeah, I'm not predicting it like a full prediction, but I'd say like if there is one character that I think could join the Straw Hats, I would take Bonnie. So
that's another take that I also agree with. Why though? Why do you feel that way?
I love her chemistry with Luffy. I love it because we've seen a little bit of it so far, and I don't know, man. It seems like a perfect fit as a Straw Hat to me. Even with Chopper and Jinbei, we saw them all together. It was just like a natural, perfect interaction with those four characters. And Bonnie, like, bro, she's just a fun character. Like, when I think of Straw Hats, they have to be fun in a certain way. Like even Carrot, that's why Carrot had so much love as a Straw Hat prediction, because she's a fun character as well. So Bonnie to me is a perfect choice. And then you even throw in like, where is Bonnie's crew? You know, like what is going on with that? You haven't seen any of that. Like what is Bonnie's role moving forward? It just seems like it could have a good chance. Not saying a guarantee, but like I said, the best choice out of all the characters for a Straw Hat.
I agree, and what even helps the case for Bonnie joining the crew is you also have someone like Kuma, which is already deeply connected to Bonnie, obviously, and I think Kuma, you know, being connected to Dragon and also helping the Straw Hats, I feel like that's also a good piece that, you know, makes me feel like Bonnie deserves to join the crew. As well as obviously the whole, you know, eating a lot like Luffy and hanging out with them. She's clearly gonna have like this tragic backstory as far as like Kuma goes. So yeah, I definitely agree that Bonnie has like a nice shot here of joining, even if it's this late into the story.
Yeah, it's definitely true, especially when you consider like how Kuma, when he saved the ship, he was guarding the ship for so long. It's like, I don't know who it was. There was Frankie or Usopp or someone when Vegapunk was talking to them about the revolutionaries. And one of them brought up, like, what was Kuma doing? Like, why was he protecting us? You know, is there connection there with Dragon? They're obviously hinting at something there. So when you bring up Kuma and Bonnie, it's another good point to say that she has a chance to join the crew.
I'm here for it. We got a super chat from Ronnie5. All y'all are Nakama. New vid out. Our new vid out too, by the way. Keep up the fire. Beppo Wepo is him. Yo, Ronnie. Appreciate the super chat. I appreciate you being in this community and just being so generous all the time, bro. Everybody that's watching, go sub to this boy Roddy. I got him back onto the YouTube shit. I was forcing him the other day. I told him, yo, upload, so it sounds like he started. And Ronnie also said Beppo Wepo. What are your thoughts on the whole Beppo thing in 1081 Preach? Is it an ass pool? Is it fire? Was it foreshadowed? How do you feel with Beppo's performance, you know, this past chapter?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, it's like, why did he not use it before? You know, this whole fight is going on, and he just chose to pull it out at the very last second as a last resort. I guess, like, I don't know. Like, to me, that doesn't really add up. It's like, you see your whole crew getting destroyed, and you just now chose to do it. But I love Beppo, man. Like, even before when we first saw the Supernova, Beppo was one of my favorite of those characters, like just off the design and stuff, like his whole energy going on. So I was always waiting for a big Beppo moment. So I'm pretty hyped from that standpoint. But like you said, it does feel kind of like an ass pool at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's so funny. It's like the most clever twist of fate. You know, for a while, fans have been begging Oda to do this Sulong Beppo thing. I remember before it was cool to say that, I was saying that in Discord text channels, bro. Sulong Beppo, where is it? And you know, this is how Oda gives it to us. I'm sort of salty because I was really under the impression Blackbeard was going to have an interesting situation as far as Law's fruit goes, whether he gets the fruit or the surgery's done. I thought something in that kind of run was going to take place, which was clearly false. But yeah, to see Beppo, well, I will admit that the appearance is really cool. I really like the design of Sulong Beppo. Like, that's not really the problem. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way how it was used.
Yeah, 100% agree. I love the design. You know, that panel was really good, and it was cool. Like, don't get me wrong, it is Sulong's always going to be a good transformation. And a giant polar bear, man, that's wild. Like, that's just a dope design. So yeah, I agree with that though. It's like, and even in Wano, why did we not see it in Wano? Why did we not see it during? Well, I guess because a lot of the fight did get off screen with Blackbeard and Law, so he was saving it. But it's just like, it doesn't really make sense when you really think about it.
Yeah, I agree, unfortunately. Do you think Beppo grabbing Law and, you know, beginning this this marathon of swimming, I don't remember what you call that. What do you call it when you swim long distances?
I have no idea. Triathlon?
Triathlon. That. I hope you're right. Yeah. Do you think Law and Beppo are gonna get away? Or do you think Blackbeard's gonna pull up on them? What's the situation with that?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. If Law and Beppo get away, I'll be kind of upset because, like, my idea is, why can't Blackbeard just create a giant wave or pull them in somehow with like a little wave? It doesn't really make sense to me if they all escape. Like, and especially because their ship got destroyed too. Oda might do it where he somehow like someone helps him out or something comes in. But as far as just black, like if I was Blackbeard right now, I'm thinking, man, like I could use my earthquake fruit to bring them back to the island.
Yeah, man, I feel like Blackbeard and his crew, especially the crew that he's with at Winter Island, I feel like they have so many outlets, they have so many tools at their disposal that they should be able to get Beppo and Law. But at the same time, the way Oda drew, you know, that last page of 1081, I'm kind of under the impression that they are gonna get away. But yeah, it's just at the same time, like, it would if the Blackbeard Pirates did capture Law. I think you can make sense of that. Majin Crow.
No, yeah, man, your chat is active, man. Like, this impressive chat right here.
Yeah, I got real ones. You should, bro. You should one of these days, bro. We gotta link up on a chapter review stream, something like this, man. It's crazy on those days, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. You do spoilers too, right? I could always pull it for like a spoiler stream.
Oh, that's
I just
right.
got into that recently, so you know, I mean, because I gotta make the video, but as long as it's not too long, I could just hop in with you. Oh, like what time do you usually do spoilers?
Lately, I would do spoilers as soon as they come out, but as of literally like last night, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I should probably do spoiler streams on Tuesdays instead of Mondays, because like a lot of times we'll get the spoilers on Mondays and then I'll do it then, but I want to switch my spoiler streams to Tuesdays instead, because there's just going to be way more details to go into.
Yeah, there's more. It's and a lot of times like on Mondays it comes out and it's too vague, how you said, and you know, people have their own agendas, they try to sneak it in there, and it gets a little bit crazy. But by Tuesday you have a bit more of a clear picture of what's actually going on.
For sure. We did get another super chat from Mr. Bushido. Will Prince Groose switch Garp out with a clay Garp? That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that is cool. Actually, I want to ask you this: with the clay powers, when I read this chapter, to me it feels like Oda's setting up maybe not a storyline, but just kind of like a little bit of a lore, where Prince Groose is kind of like Kobe's rival in a sense. I think that's a cool idea to go off, because like Luffy has his own rivals with the supernovas, but it is a good idea to put Kobe in a situation where he has someone to compete with. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I actually didn't even consider that. That's actually a really, really interesting take, because I feel like Oda's gonna do something with Prince Groose. Something's gonna come of him.
Yeah, like maybe, I mean, who knows, if we're assuming Kobe becomes an admiral for sure, and then maybe fleet admiral, so maybe Prince Groose becomes an admiral.
Maybe we could even look into the colors and animals that he could use.
Yeah, that's true, that as well too.
Oh, that's something you could cook up, bro. I feel like you would kill that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what color it would be though. It'd be like like brown or gold or something.
Oh yeah, we got to check out the whole Zodiac thing and all the colors they haven't used yet, because they said didn't they say like Kobe was gonna be orange rat or something like that?
Yeah, I've seen the orange. Yeah, the Chinese Zodiac, right?
Yeah,
I've seen that before too.
All right, but yeah, as far as like Prince Groose goes, and creating a clay Garp, I think him repeatedly creating clones of people and just having all these little minions everywhere would be really, really fun. And I feel like that's what Oda's kind of setting up, right? You know, we already see Groose making little soldiers, you know?
No, for sure. Yeah, it would be cool. And I don't know, because what I'm seeing with Groose right now is he had one moment where he caught the ship, but it's like we didn't really see him fight too much. So I would like to see a lot more of him from a more combative stance and fighting a stronger character as well. Because like we saw him take out a lot of fodder from Blackbeard's crew, but we didn't see him take on like an actual strong enemy. And same with Kobe too. I want to see Kobe fight maybe like Pizarro or someone, or you know, one of the other Blackbeard captains, even if it's like one of the weaker ones. Oh
yeah, I would love that, man, for sure. This whole sword thing is like so fun, and I'm not gonna lie, my whole idea, my personal headcanon for Sword, like this whole time, I thought they were like making these covert and these secret operations, you know, to directly attack the world government and the Celestials. But Oda just, for, you know, from my perspective, flipped it on its head, and he has Sword fighting the Blackbeard pirates. Like, I'm not upset with it, and I actually like this, and it's really interesting. I really didn't see this coming, but I guess it makes sense when you think about Garp going to save Kobe. Is this something you were kind of expecting, like a whole Sword versus Blackbeard pirates?
I wasn't. It's kind of weird. Like I was expecting it in some way. Not. I wasn't expecting all the Sword characters to come along with him. Maybe a few. But like even Kobe was like, oh, we even brought Tashigi too. Like she's not even Sword, so this is like a big event. But I guess it makes sense when you have the Blackbeard pirates and Garp. I don't think he knew that that Blackbeard was not going to be there. So I guess he just wanted to bring as many people as he could. As far as like the Sword thing, it is kind of unexpected. We didn't know what it was going to be, but it did seem more leaning towards they had some kind of I guess a rivalry with CP0. I felt like there was something there that still hasn't been explored. It was definitely unexpected, but I guess that's just the way Oda goes, man. Like he throws something at you and then it's completely in the opposite direction sometimes. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out for now.
100%. I see a few people in the chat. They're asking about Smoker. Do you think he is he's up to anything? Do you think he's in the vicinity? What are your thoughts right now on Smoker in particular?
All right, so Smoker, it's an interesting one. I think because he's a vice admiral, I'm really thinking that he could be heading to Egghead. That would be interesting to have someone who's cool with Luffy, and he's in the entire incident. But if he's not there, then I would say, like, could it be possible that he's in Sword? It just seems like Smoker, he doesn't agree with all the corruption. You know, he's seen it firsthand with Alabasta. He's seen pirates help him out before in Punk Hazard. It feels like what they describe Sword could be, it seems like he would fit that perfectly, in my opinion, because it just seems like he's moving away from the higher ups in the world government, and he wants to do his own thing. He wants to do justice in his own way. It is kind of weird that Tashigi, she has the sword fetish, man. Like it's kind of weird that she's not a Sword, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Smoker could be a Sword, or like what do you think about that?
So the Marines and the world government is when it comes to, like, you know, deception and betrayal with, you know, their whole faction, their whole organization, it's kind of complicated and really intriguing at the same time. You know, you have Sword, which, you know, they don't follow the rules, so that already shows, you know, some level of deception. They clearly don't have the same beliefs, and, you know, their headspace isn't the same as the Celestial Dragons, clearly. Now, I do believe there's going to be quite a few characters that are going to work against the world government as Marines. They're going to like the idea of, you know, stopping corrupt pirates, but they're not going to rock with the whole, you know, Celestial Dragons, you're my god type stuff. But one thing I always try to remind myself, I don't want to get too eager. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to assume every single person that has some level of distrust to be a member of Sword. You know, I feel like if I took that approach and I said, you know, Smoker's in Sword, Fujitoro's in Sword, like every single person that's even like slightly sus, at the end it would just seem like the world government lost a lot of troops. And, you know, I personally, I don't think the world government is going to look weak before that final war. I feel like the world government has to look like a big threat. You know, generally these villains in One Piece, they always seem like really big obstacles. So, you know, if the world government and the Marines lose too many people, and, you know, too many people are going to be working against them, that might actually lopside it too much. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you on that, yeah, for sure. It's interesting too, you know, there's always been the idea, like, is Garp going to fight Akainu, or is he going to fight someone else in the final saga? And like you said, it's kind of, it throws us for an unexpected fight against Kuzan. But hopefully, if Garp makes it out of this alive and everything's fine, you know, I don't think he's going to die. But I do hope that we get to see at least one interaction with Akainu at the end of by the end of the series.
Me too, 100%. We're gonna grab this super chat right here. Mr. Bushido with the 2. Sounds crazy, but I have an idea. Bonnie teams up with Kid. Any thoughts, Preach?
Um,
Well, what's coming to your mind right now?
I think we need like more of his idea, because how would Kid and Bonnie link up, right? Because Kid's in Elbath right now, so I guess it would have to be once the Straw Hats go to Elbath. I would like to see more of like why he believes that, because I mean, I'm not sure how it connects. There could be a connection, but I'm just not sure.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from. It would be nice to get more information. I'm sure Mr. Bushido has reasons as to why he thinks that. As far as like Kid running into Bonnie, I think it's really intentional that Oda had Winter Island, Egghead, and Elbath so close to each other. I feel like that opens the opportunity for them to run back into each other. You know, I think when Beppo right now starts swimming away from Winter Island, you know, anime logic, anime fate, anime luck, he's gonna swim right into Egghead Island, and that's just gonna have them collide. And you know, for the Casey Kid, maybe his crew's like, oh man, Shanks is running us out of Elbath, and then he just ends up at Egghead. Like, I feel like that's a direction that Oda might take, just given, like, you know, he's always having these characters cross paths again. He already put so much time and invested so much into Law that I could see Oda bringing Law back into, you know, one of the main plot lines. But what do you think about, you know, that kind of direction I painted right there?
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening for sure. It feels like Luffy, Law, and Kid they've always been together as far as that trio. Even in when we first saw those three in Sabaody, it just felt like they were kind of connected, and Oda was just hinting that they would always be intrinsically connected. It's interesting because we brought up Law and Beppo saving Law, and how does he make it out of this alive, and how does Blackbeard not capture him? But it's also like with Kid, I'm also wondering, I don't know why no one brings this up, is like, how is Kid gonna make out of this alive? Because at first it's like, okay, he lost to Shanks, but then if you see when Dory and Brogy just come in and wreck his ship and destroy them even more, I mean, Kid was already knocked out, and I'm just surprised, like, is Kid, like, he's gonna drown if no one saves him, right? It's like, so someone has to save Kid. I'm interested if it's going to be like a red hair pirate, if it's going to be Rocks or someone, or a Rockstar, sorry, or is it going to be Ben Beckman or someone else, or is this a new character? Because at this point, Kid's going to drown. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I do think Oda's gonna save them. You know, when this whole Kid thing was going down, my thoughts at that time were like, okay, Oda's gonna have the Kid pirates get annihilated, and then I think following that the Heart pirates are gonna get destroyed as well, which, you know, turns out that did happen. But I thought that was gonna be the case, and Kid and Law were basically gonna exit the story. Oda wasn't gonna physically kill them. Oda was just gonna, you know, push them aside. But, you know, after 1081, I did some thinking, and I was like, man, like, seeing Beppo swim, you know, away from Winter is giving me the vibes that what I was saying earlier, that Luffy, Law, and Kid are gonna run into each other. So if that was the case, then it's basically what you said, like, who's gonna save Kid? As far as who, man, I don't know if I have the brain power or creativity. No one in particular comes to mind, and you know, that's just how it's always been with Kid. The moment, you know, we saw Law go against Blackbeard, a lot of people thought Kid was going to go against Shanks, and that happened. It was a perfect, you know, parallel, you know, being Law, Kid, Blackbeard, Shanks. And, you know, the thought was like, who is Kid gonna get saved? Is someone gonna interrupt the fight? But look at Kid as a character. He doesn't have a crew. He doesn't have these connections. He doesn't have a homie like Rayleigh, as far as we know. It's just unfortunate for Law and Kid. And, you know, when the narrator says that their crew's destroyed, their journey's over, you know, they lost their crew, I'm thinking, what crew? What crew did Kid and Law have?
Yeah, that's harsh. It's true though. You know, Kid, I can't even name a Kid member besides Killer, so it is true.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I've been thinking about that, and I've been dwelling on that, and I'm like, man, like, what's I'm trying to be more open to things, and I'm like, man, what's the possibility that Law and Kid run into the Straw Hats and they just say F it and just team up? And then like we see Kid working with the Straw Hat Pirates and Law working with the Straw Hat Pirates, kind of like a Dressrosa saga deal. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we just see, because in the end of Wano, we did see them kind of allowing Luffy to take the front of the, like, because before it was always those three standing side by side. When Luffy fought Kaido, they were like, you know what, we'll leave it to him, and we have to put our faith in Luffy for this moment, and we'll take care of Big Mom. It's kind of like they were accepting that Luffy was surpassing them in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting for Kid and Law. I love Law. You know, I like Kid. I'm interested to see where his story is going. I've been a little bit disappointed in Kid, but I still want to see like if Oda has something interesting planned for him, a redemption arc or something else, because you know Conqueror's Haki, I would love to see him unlock Conqueror's Haki in Elbaf. It's gonna be interesting for the entire Elbaf. Whatever happens with Elbaf, I think it's gonna be a big arc.
100%. There's going to be a lot of players just like Egghead. You know, a lot of people have stakes in there. We have Shanks' connection, obviously. Kid's trying to get there. You obviously have Usopp. He's been wanting to see the Giants. Dragon might even have his hands in Ohara. Or we know he had his hands in Ohara, so therefore his hands might be in Elbaf as well. There's so many people, so many possibilities when it comes to that arc, and I think everything's going to hit the fan.
Yeah, we might even see like Kuzan connected to Sal. You know, that might bring Blackbeard to Elbaf, if that's like a situation. Like you said, Robin and Sal. Like I think Sal will be the main person who brings everyone together, because Vegapunk was mentioning him, and it seems like he's going to be important with the world history, you know, and everything he knows about what happened at Ohara. They have the books as well, so I think it's going to be important moving forward.
100%. And we got a super chat from Young Usopp with the 5. Are Blackbeard, Aokiji, and Kuma of the same race? Brown skin with black hair, opposite of the Lunarians. Perhaps Joy Boy's race / the race that lived on God Valley. Huh. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it could be. You know, they could be from a similar area. It's possible. I don't know if it's like a full-on race, but it could be somehow connected. I even think this is one of my crazy theories. I want to get into a video on it soon, but I've always believed that Kuzan had the Will of D, and you know he's connected to a lot of Will of D members. Garp, we found out that he's his apprentice now. Sal, he was his friend, and in the Marines connected. Now Teach, you know, he's now with Blackbeard, and the Will of D members, they always somehow are tied through destiny or fate or whatever, but they always meet up, they always connect somehow. Even with like every Will of D member, they have another connection to another one, even outside of the family. So I really do think that Kuzan could be a Will of D member.
Yeah, man, all these people are interconnected. I agree with everything you said, and you know, just him having a role in Ohara for me is like, man, like Oda purposely, you know, had Kuzan specifically save Saul and preserve him. It's like Oda's using him, an Admiral Marine, to have sympathy for this island, to have sympathy for Robin. And Oda wouldn't do that for no reason unless he falls into that Will of D characteristics, that Will of D lane. I could definitely see where you're coming from.
Yep.
It's just more so like, I feel like some people would probably wonder, okay, why would they let him into the Marines? Do you think there's characters in One Piece that have hidden the D initial? What's your whole take on the names in One Piece? Can people pretend to be a D? Do people hide being a D? What's your take on that?
Well, we do know for a fact that the Trafalgar family, like Law's family, we know they hid their name, right? So it's possible that other families also did it. I think that for itself kind of speaks for itself, especially because Law had not even just did he hide the D for a while, he also had another name, like a fake name, like Water and then Law. So he's definitely like, there's something definitely about the Will of D that's where they have to hide their lineage. So I could see it being other characters that like just they never that people just never knew that they had the Will of D.
Yeah, I could see that too. And Blackbeard specifically, I feel like there's something going on with him having the D initial. Some people think Blackbeard's a coward. Some people think, you know, with him not smiling at the face of death against Whitebeard, they think that's kind of sus. What do you think about the idea that Blackbeard's a fake D member? Well, how does that sit with you?
Yeah, it's possible. Like, it definitely could be. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, do you mean that like his family just gave themselves gave themselves the Willa D at one point and then just passed it on? Like, what do you mean by that?
I'm not entirely sure how that would happen, but maybe he just wants to fool the world, or maybe he wants to kind of, you know, fit into this Dawn. I'm not really sure how it would unfold, but it sounds like to me how it happens would matter the most to you.
Yeah, I mean, it would just change like the way we look at it, because if his family did it and they're like, yeah, we're gonna be this fake Willa D clan, and kind of just, I don't know, not infiltrate, but just play as this false role, trying to emulate what the Willa D stands for. You know, we don't know exactly what it means yet, but it's definitely important. You know, facing against the Celestial Dragons, and there's a lot of history there. So I guess because knowing Blackbeard, he's interested in the history, he's interested in these things. I could see it being the case that he's just emulating things from the past, finding out things about the devil fruits and stuff. Yeah, I could see it. Like, even with rocks, like, we know that Blackbeard somehow has some kind of connections to rocks, or he's inspired by rocks. There's a lot of similarities there. I really do think it's possible. I don't know how it would play out, but it could be, man. Like, maybe he was inspired by rocks, and then he was like, man, I'm gonna be the next rock, the next rock. Sorry.
That would be interesting. And just to kind of wrap back around to the Blackbeard, Aokiji, and Kuma thing, that there being like another race, almost like the antithesis to Lunarians, would be interesting. And, you know, I have heard about Blackbeard and Kuma being connected, you know, through a race, because we know Kuma's from a special race. But saying that Aokiji is the same race as Kuma and Blackbeard is really, really interesting. And I would kind of have to question, like, didn't they say Kuma was the last one of his race? Is that what they said specifically?
Yeah, it was with Kuma. Yeah, they brought up the specific thing about him being of a strange race, I think.
Okay, so I would have to wonder, like, how did Blackbeard and Aokiji go under the radar? Like, Blackbeard, maybe you can excuse him because he's just very mischievous. Oda kind of uses him as a hack a lot of the time. But someone like Aokiji, how would that work? A Lunarian alternative. I wonder what that would be. Something regarding the sun, huh? Lunarians, they're just based off the moon. So if there was like an alternate version of the Lunarians, it would probably be, okay, Solarians. Solarians. That would be crazy if Oda revealed that, huh?
Yeah, that could definitely be a thing. Fitting into the Willa D, you know, Lunarians. It's kind of weird, like Kuma, because when I look at Kuma, right, he's a character where you're looking at him, he has connections to Vegapunk, he has connections to Dragon. He's so mysterious, but I feel like Oda is saving one important review. Like, I don't know how you feel about Egghead right now, but for me, the one criticism that I have is that I wish that Oda would have done a normal flashback. Like, if you just put the entire Kuma flashback into like 4 or 5 chapters instead of spreading it out so much. Because I feel like this story could hit a lot harder if we saw everything and all together, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would just flow so much more better. But I do think he has one final reveal that he's saving for the end. But yeah, I can't wait to see what's going on with Kuma.
Yeah, and I do agree with Oda kind of splitting it up. I hope Oda doesn't have to do kind of like a recap. That would kind of suck if Oda had to do like a wide panel of a recap when it comes to Bonnie and Kuma. I want it to feel like natural and have it flow. And I'm really interested to see, you know, what's going on with that, man. I feel like there's gonna be a big twist in Egghead, at least regarding Kuma and Bonnie.
For sure.
So we do have, that's 2 gifted memberships, one from DJ and one from West. Dubs in chat. We need to. I'm dropping some eyes in chat, bro. So I started the 3-Eyed Tribe. Marshall D preach.
Yeah.
We just spam eyes whenever some hype shit happens, bro.
Bro, your community is lit, man. No, like shout out to you for having a dedicated community. You know, I see you on Twitter. I see you on I see you everywhere, man. Like you just post something, your community is always there commenting. They always show up and support it, man.
And you too, bro. Like your channel has been like so strong and so healthy for like a while. Like there's just a point where your channel, like I noticed, like you started taking off and you were hitting like at least like 30K per video, and your channel like succeeded, bro. And I like watched it almost from the ground up, I would say. And yeah, people ride out for you. All those views, bro. You got a very healthy channel.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting too because I see your channel, like, bro, you didn't even post for so long. Like, people are still in the comments. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're loyal fans, man. Because, like, I hope you return with some bangers, bro. Because even now, like, I was just wondering, like, where's Threefold been at, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but even then, you got some, like, it's just like I could tell it's like a real community. I could tell you've been building this for a minute now.
Yeah, I've been working on videos, bro. I have something cooking. Right before I joined this stream or started the stream, I was editing, bro. I got some heat coming, bro.
Can't wait, bro. Can't wait.
So do you have any other theories on the horizon? Like, what's your next video, if you're allowed to talk about that?
Yo, man, when I tell you, like, bro, I have so many videos planned, bro. I got a list, I got a doc. It's like 100 videos, bro. Like some of them are theories, some of them are just like other videos that are pretty easy to think of. But I have so much stuff I want to make, and it's just like a matter of time and picking the best ones, and like it's just like kind of overwhelming, man. Like you got to just pick the best ones, you know what I'm saying? So, but as far as the next upcoming video, I'm going to be dropping a supernova power scaling video soon, and I'm working on a few theories as well. Like I have one theory on the Monkey D family. Like if you notice, I think you probably noticed that there's like a golden bell, or on the golden bell there's a monkey with a straw hat.
Yep.
So like my idea was more of like exploring that of how is the Monkey D family tied to Shandora? How are they tied to that entire situation? And it's gonna go into more of the connections of like the D clan and how the Monkey family is like the most important family for the ancient kingdom in that time. Like why they're not worship, but like kind of just why they're seen as this important family specifically, because we've seen like the D clan are important, but we've never seen something like that where it's like the monkey on the bell. It seems like almost like Luffy was like to me it seems like a prophecy, bro. Like Luffy rang the bell Shandora, he has the straw hat, he's the monkey family, you know what I'm saying? So it seems like almost too perfect to be true, so there's definitely something there. So that's a hint for an upcoming video. And actually, because I'm reading Skypiea for that video, and then I came across something else. It's like so mind-blowing to me if this ever happened, but I want to get your thoughts on it. I mentioned to you earlier today, but what my idea is like, what happens if there was a dial, like from a dial from Jaya, or I think it was from Skypiea. What if they had dials back in the day that were so powerful that it could like wipe out an entire island? You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
Because like even like the missing eye of, I think it's of Shandora, right? The missing eye.
Shandora, Jaya, same thing.
Jaya, yeah. Like, could you imagine if there was a dial so massive that it like destroyed an entire section of that island? Because I was looking back at it, bro, those dials are crazy, man. Like they're actually crazy how powerful they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that technology is wild, and like Oda didn't even explain too much on it. And then I was looking through Skypiea, and there's like this little there's a map, and there's a little Oni, like a Oars Oni. Like, could you imagine if one of those giant beasts had a giant dial in their hand, bro? That would be insane.
Hey, you know what's so crazy about everything you just said? The dials, right? Those are seashells, right? If I'm not mistaken. You know, if you take the phrase One Piece and you spin it backwards, and you run it through Google Translate, I forgot what language it is, but it might be Indonesian, but it comes out to seashell.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, that's definitely man, bro. That's because it's just like, bro, Oda didn't really explain too much about it. You know what I'm saying? Like he showed it to us, and it was a really cool technology, but I would kind of wish that he would have dove in a little bit further on that. And I mean, there's a like, bro, when I first saw the dials, I was just mind blown, bro. Like when Whitebird first did it, I was like, this is a crazy technology, and it's way too strong to just be this natural seashell. Like there has to be more behind it.
Yeah, man. I've been waiting for the day Oda brings back the dials. Maybe Vegapunk's gonna run into one, and he's gonna make some crazy tech with them. And you know, at the beginning of your answer before, you were saying what if there's a dial that could take out an island? That had me thinking, like, imagine like there was a bunch of super powerful dials strapped to the side of Pluton and like you could fire those instead of cannonballs. Just fire those dials and just obliterate everything, bro.
I was thinking the same thing, man. Like either Pluton or Uranus too. Like we don't know what Uranus is, but considering that it could be connected to the Sky Islands, you know what I'm saying? So like it could be with that. But man, I was reading Skypiea. It's like whenever I go back and read Skypiea, I'm not a big fan of the arc, but I always find so much little things that just make my mind start running through theories, bro. Like there's so many little details in that arc.
100%. It's one of my favorite arcs to read, hands down. Every time I get to it, I'm just like, man, Oda, Goda. Let me see. And then we got Jonathan with the 20 super chat. Work got me today, so I can't catch the stream. Gotta stop by and show love though. Yo, Jonathan, appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. Shouts out to Jonathan, bro. All right. I've been waiting this whole time to ask you this question, Preach, because people keep asking, and I've been looking at the chat. They keep asking, Burn Scar Man. I had to have seen it in chat at least like 100 times today. What is in the mind of Preach when it comes to Burn Scar Man? What jumps out? What's the answer?
So I don't know how you feel about this, because you know we'll get into it for sure, but I know there's a lot of people that they think it's Dragon. They think it's Monkey D. Dragon. I don't know how do you agree with that, or do you disagree?
I didn't even like really compute that yet. I've been thinking about I've just been thinking about others.
Yeah, so like for me, I do think it could be others. I've been thinking like, could it be Sao? But I also think the more likely thing is a new character. But the one thing I want to say about Dragon is like, I really don't think it could be him. I've seen a lot of people say it, and the reason why is because when we first saw them talking about the man marked by flames, Kid brings it up, and then we see Robin with like a question mark. It's like, to me, it seems like she didn't know who it was, and even like if you want to say like, oh, maybe she was just wondering like, how does Kid know about that? Like to me, that still doesn't really add up, because like, now Luffy is asking everyone like, what is the man marked by flames? Because we need to know for the One Piece. It's the next step to get to the One Piece. And if that's true, like if it was Dragon, then I feel like Robin would just tell him so they can go and find the One Piece. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to like kind of debunk that idea just real quick. But yeah, man, I do think it's gonna be a new character, and I'm excited to see like with the Devil Fruit as well. Could it be like a spin Devil Fruit, like a spin fruit? A whirlpool fruit? Like what kind of devil fruit would it be? That's one thing I'm interested in. Like how does this character have the poneglyph, man? Like it's kind of crazy to think that this entire story, if it is a new character, that we never heard of him, so that would be kind of wild. So yeah, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, thinking about a new character, strong or a new strong character getting introduced towards the end of the story is really, really interesting. It's just like, man, how did this character not get revealed yet? How has no one mentioned them? That is one thing that I kind of feel is an obstacle in a way. I feel like Oda might be able to work it out, but that is a little tricky. Now, regarding the whole Burn Scar thing in general, it's in not a good place. I don't think it's in a good place right now. And the reason why I feel that way is because there's details about this burn scar man that seem to be on shaky legs. You know, a lot of people are arguing that the comment about the burn scar man working with the world government is just a speculation, that it's not the truth, that it might be wrong. You know, with that being the case, it complicates us trying to figure out who the burn scar man is. Because, you know, you might ask me who I think it is, and I'll tell you, oh, I think it's Copper Gabon, but you don't know if I think the burn scar man works for the government, or if I think Shiryu was wrong. You know what I mean? It adds like a layer of depth to the question that people are gonna have to address. So it's like, do we agree that the person had a relationship with the world government, or do we think Shiryu was wrong? Was it just a speculation? I think that should be the first step that is established.
Man, it's tough because Shiryu, we would expect him to have a credible we would expect him to be a credible source, because, you know, he was in Impel Down for so long. You know, now he's teamed up with Blackbeard. They're looking for the poneglyphs. And honestly, like, I really like the idea that the world government does have one of them, for the same reason that he said, like, if they have one, they're keeping it away from the One Piece so no one can find it. So I do like that entire idea. It's just like, I agree, man. It's tough with that one, because I don't know, man. Like, it feels like if it's not Kuzan, if it's not Sao, then who could it really be that's connected to the world government?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, is it Shanks? Are we gonna say now, is Shanks connected to the world government?
So
that could be true. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's just, we do have to consider the possibility, like you said, that they would be tied to them.
Okay. So here there's a few things that I try to keep in mind, and there's certain protocol that I follow, especially since I'm a creator. I have to be really on top of my stuff. There's certain things I do when I see certain things in One Piece. So for an example, if there's a question or if there's a mystery in One Piece and we have, you know, a few details about that mystery, if something new comes up regarding that mystery, new details, and it kinda sorta goes against what we previously knew, I always remind myself of what we were told first. So in this case, the question is, what is the question? It literally just
The man marked by flames?
Oh, the man marked by flames. Okay.
Yeah.
So this character, he's a question mark, and it's like what we knew about him before. Or I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry. The question is the fourth road poneglyph. That's what the question is, right? Because what we're talking about the burn scar man, because we're trying to get to the poneglyph, okay? And what we knew about the road poneglyph to begin with is what? It was at Fishman Island, and it was moved. I want to think about that, and I want to focus on that, because that's what's going to matter more. I know for a fact it was at Fishman Island and it was moved. So I have to, on my priority list, I have to think like, okay, that detail is what's going to matter most. I don't know if I value the world government detail as much as, again, the fact of it being moved. What do you think about that thought process? Does it kind of like, you know, shift your mind somewhere, or what?
No, yeah, that's man, that's a great point. I haven't even seen people bring that up that much. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting idea. Because you're right, because if we're going down this path of the poneglyph, we got to start back where everything started, and it's just like, I don't really know, because I'm thinking, could it be a fishman, like a new character, a fishman, or, you know, it could definitely be a lot of variety of things. But I think you're right in the fact that we got to start there, and then kind of put the pieces together after that.
You know, a second ago, I think I heard you say something about Shanks, and you know, it's really funny in the context of the burn scar man, because it seems to some people that, again, you know, Shiryu is saying that on shaky legs, and us as readers, when we think about Shanks and what happened, you know, in the early 900s, we saw Shanks meeting with the Gorosei. So, you know, us as fans, we're also thinking like, does he work with the world government? Is he in cahoots with him? Sort of like how Shiryu is kind of speculating that this guy that has a final road poneglyph is in cahoots with the world government. So I say all that to say, maybe we have the same perspective as Shiryu. Shiryu's looking at Shanks, we're looking at Shanks, and we're both wondering, is he working with the world government? He probably has the final road poneglyph. What do you think about that?
Yeah, because when I say Shanks, I don't mean it has to be Shanks specifically, but especially because we know like his ship isn't a black ship. So it would have to be someone that's working with Shanks, like someone in the world government, someone in his fleet, you know, someone at Elbaf, someone else. I don't think it could be him specifically, but it has to be tied. It would have to be tied where he is making a deal with them, so he has the poneglyph. And like you said, like we know Shanks now is going for the One Piece, so it's kind of like I feel like if there's anyone that would have a poneglyph as well, it would be Shanks. If we know for a fact, you know, he has Elbaf. He's one of the most important characters in One Piece. So how could we tie this in with Shanks? He was also, I think, because he went with Marco and the Whitebeard Pirates to, I forgot the name of the island, Sphinx Island maybe, to when they buried Ace and Whitebeard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like maybe if we're going down this, then maybe Shanks also had someone that he's connected to, this man marked by flames, because Whitebeard was he had control over Fishman Island. So once Fishman Island goes under, and then once Whitebeard dies, maybe like Shanks just had someone in his connection to it, and he was like, we gotta make sure we take care of the poneglyph before anything else, and then I'll take Whitebeard to Sphinx Island. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we could have something right there where Shanks is commanding someone or telling them about this.
Yeah, 100%. I really want to see Oda dive into the fleets, you know, dive into these ships of the Yonko. You know, we didn't explore too much of Kaido's fleets. We only really knew the All-Stars. Nobody looks too deep into the Big Mom Pirates aside from like the first few. I feel like Shanks, you know, being connected to the underworld, maybe, you know, maybe he has a guy in that kind of realm, you know, maybe, you know, someone in his fleet, one of the captains of his ship is, you know, he has his hands on something, he has a black ship or something, maybe he goes on spy missions. I think Shanks, or Oda, has a lot of room to have Shanks connected to all these people, all these tools, to maneuver around the world and kind of pull strings.
Yeah, like even with the just having his territory be Elbaf, I've always wanted to see, like, we gotta see, knowing that they're already one of the strongest races and they're known for being warriors, I feel like there has to be like at least one Odin level Elbaf. Like there has to be some strong characters there. So it's just a matter of time of seeing like if they're connected to Shanks, if they're friends with Shanks. But that would be crazy, man. If Shanks has another ally who is just this super powerful guy on his own.
As far as Egghead goes, I personally think it's going to be a training arc. You know, maybe before a battle on there or after. I think the Straw Hats really need to buff up, man. Like when you think about right now, let's just say hypothetically, for some reason, Van Augur just teleported right in front of Usopp and they began a 1v1 right now. What does that look like to you?
Oh man, Usopp is it's looking rough for Usopp, man. I'll say that. Yeah, I honestly, that's the one matchup where I just can't even come to understand how Usopp even has a chance. I've looked at the other matchups like Chopper and Q. Like I could see Chopper winning that, but like Usopp and Van Augur, that's not even close right now.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem. So, you know, it would be good to see the Straw Hats get that one final push, because, you know, we're talking like Blackbeard Pirates, you know, the world government, like the end game, the finale, the end of this humongous story. I feel like the Straw Hats need to go and prepare. You know, a lot of these guys, they don't have hockey. A lot of these guys, they don't really know what they're doing. Like, let's be honest, like the bottom tier Straw Hats, like how are they going to hang when it comes to the Blackbeard Pirates? How are they going to hang when it comes against admirals or, you know, vice admirals or, you know, the whole final war? Like, I think the Straw Hats need that one final push. What about you?
No, 100% agree, man. Like, if we're talking about this this Buster Call situation, it's gonna be tough. I don't know if we're gonna see like Robin fighting a vice admiral, but it's just kind of crazy to think about. Can Nami still hang? Can Usopp hang with these vice admirals? You got Seraphim in the mix. You got Kizaru pulling up. Even a Godase member. It's just gonna be a wild event. And then if like after that, because that's already wild on itself to say that the Straw Hats can make it out of that. And then going into Elbaf, Elbaf is just looking like it's going to be a full on. To me, because it's in the Warland area, so like to me, it's always been like this is one of the main places for the final war. Maybe even how the final war officially starts with Luffy, and that if you're thinking about like Shanks' crew, how he just destroyed Kid, I agree. The Straw Hats need to they need a buff. And that actually brings up an attention for the new cover page, because I don't know if you saw it, but like people are saying Sanji's the only one awake in the coloring, and then you see like Conk King. I don't know if you saw that, and people are saying like maybe that's like a foreshadowing for Sanji getting Conqueror's Haki. It's actually kind of interesting because it even has like the crown next to it, and it looks like instead of cooking, it's spelled like cock, like Conqueror's Haki, and then king, like King's Haki.
Interesting. I actually didn't hear about that. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna think about that and look into that. That's interesting.
Yeah, like because all the Straw Hats are sleeping, he's the only one awake. So like it's like maybe Oda's trying to focus on Sanji here, and just like foreshadow something.
Huh. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if Sanji had and used Conquerors. What about you?
I think if we do get it though, I think it has to be later down the line because Zoro just got it, and I feel like with Zoro we kind of it was some people disagree, but I feel like with Zoro it fits more for his personality. And I do think Sanji could get it, but I feel like it has to be one of the final power-ups for Sanji, because right now, man, Sanji is just like busted, man. Like this dude, he gets hit by some crazy attacks and he just like regenerates. His bones are coming back in place.
Insane.
Sanji is busted, man. Like I feel like he'll be way stronger than Zoro if he had Conqueror's Haki right now.
And by the way, someone in chat, Brad W, said, "Wait till Usopp figures out Sea Prism slingshot." That would be great. Maybe that's what he does to Augur. Maybe he shoots Augur with a Sea Prism bullet, bro.
That'd be pretty cool, yeah.
Oh man, but would Usopp shoot someone with a bullet?
I don't know. I mean, he's a sniper, so I feel like he would. And especially because it's like the Blackbeard pirates in that specific scenario, I feel like he would. Because like they're still pirates at the end of the day. And yeah, you could say like Luffy and his crew are good, but when you're facing up against Blackbeard, it's like a different kind of situation. It's not just for fun, you know what I'm saying? Like it might seem fun at first, but Blackbeard is like you got to deal with him differently, man, because he'll straight up kill you, and he'll straight up take your devil fruits, and he'll run your whole team dry. So yeah, you gotta proceed with caution with Blackbeard, and it's a different, like when you fight Blackbeard, it's a whole different game plan.
I totally agree. But we do have a super chat from Ryan. He says Luffy definitely on Egghead. Sunny destroyed VG build ship. VG, is that Vegapunk? Luffy definitely on Egghead. Sunny destroyed Vega. I think what he's saying is on Egghead, the Sunny's gonna get destroyed and Vegapunk's gonna build a new ship. I think that's what I'm that's what I'm reading.
I hope not, man. I really the Mary was already like tragic enough, bro. I really love the Sunny. I hope I don't have to go through that again.
Man, I can't do it. The Going Merry, bro, if we're talking saddest, most depressing, heart-wrenching moments, Going Merry is up there for me, man. I know some people say it's just a ship, but it was a good ship.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a sad moment, man. Like the whole funeral and everything, it's just it was a good way to end the arc, but it was like because bro, that to me that's my favorite arc in One Piece. Like the way Oda did it, and then he had these hype moments, and then just twisting around your feelings, man. Like it's hype, and then it's just sad. Like the next chapters.
And someone in chat said, "How about the 1,000 Sunny gets upgraded by Vegapunk?" What do you think about that?
That would be pretty cool. I would hope that it was like Vegapunk helping Frankie, showing Frankie something. I still want it to be Frankie doing it, but maybe Vegapunk can teach him something, and then that's how Frankie upgrades it.
Yeah, I could definitely see that too. And to this day I still wonder, does Frankie still remember The blueprints. Did Frankie sneak something in with the Sunny, man? Is there some aspect of Pluton? Is there some relationship between the Thousand Sunny and Pluton? Is there some kind of link? What do you think?
You know, it's crazy. Like, it is kind of wild to just say like, oh, I'm gonna just burn up this. I'm gonna burn up the blueprints, especially because he knows what it is. Like, he knows what Pluton is. So for him to just so carelessly burn the blueprints in front of everyone, knowing that Pluton exists, knowing the repercussions of what it could become, and the entire role of them passing it down was to prevent the other Pluton if it ever awakened. I feel like that's just wild. Like, that's almost too reckless. I feel like maybe he knew something that we don't, where there's another blueprint that's somewhere hidden, or some, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be something else, because that's just like a kind of a crazy thing to do.
Yeah, and it's funny, you know, we say Frankie knows Pluton, but when you actually like listen to that and let it sink in, it's kind of crazy. Like, this goofball knows a fucking ancient weapon, and it's funny because even to us readers, we still don't truly know. You know, we have our speculations and, you know, we have our clues here and there, but we have not officially seen Pluton. And, you know, this guy, this whole time, for hundreds and hundreds of chapters, he's been knowing exactly what it is. And, you know, it's spawned theories that counter Pluton. Obviously, you have maybe the Thousand Sunnies, Pluton, or some stuff. There's all kinds of variations. So like, I just think it's funny when like you actually let that sink in. Like, Frankie knows the ins and outs of an ancient weapon.
Yeah, and he knows the destruction too, or at least how crazy it is, because we saw his reaction, man. Like, his reaction was it was one of the most amazing reactions in One Piece. Just
it's like,
to
what is this?
What it is. Yeah, like it shows us without telling us, and you can see just on his face how crazy the ancient weapons are.
I think he said something like, "Is this a ship?"
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah. Frankie, the guy that actually goes out and actually grabs materials and builds stuff, and, you know, the one that's actually, you know, out in the field trying to improve, he's having this kind of confused reaction, asking if it's a ship. So that must mean something. It's, you know, like, he excels in that field. So for him to be confused, man.
You brought up Frankie being this crazy kind of just goofy guy. And he knows the ancient weapon. Like, for me, I really think it would be interesting because we know Frankie loves making battleships, and we know that's his main theme and lesson that he learned from Tom was, it's not your fault. It's not your fault what the weapon, or it's not your fault for creating the weapon, but it's how people use it, right? And to me, it's like, bro, I always thought that Frankie would be the one to he wants to create Pluton. He wants to create the greatest battleship ever. It makes sense that he would either put in the Sunny or make it in that down the line when someone else gets Pluton, or however it works out. But I feel like that could maybe be not his dream, but another goal that he always had, like a childish dream that's just so ridiculous that he would want to do.
Now, you mentioned just now that you know, Frankie had this power, and, you know, the Water 7 had this power, Poseidon, you know, and all the ships and all that. You know, it's, to the world government, it's not more so, oh, you're using it. It's more so like, oh, you could use it. We don't want you to have insert item here, because then you could do, you know, this destructive thing. It's like the world government doesn't even want to run the risk of, you know, the opposition having strong, powerful weapons and tools. Now, again, that was expressed at the beginning of Water 7 because of Frankie's backstory. But it's interesting how later on in Enies Lobby, we had that same theme again. When Clover was on the phone talking to the Godosei, they specifically said, we don't care about, you know, oh, you're not using the poneglyphs for bad things. You're not using the ancient weapons for bad things. We don't even want you having that chance. And like, that was a notable conflict during Robin's flashback. So I say all that to say, Oda's making a big point of a group of people having a powerful tool that could be used for bad. That group of people was destroyed and eradicated by a different group of people that don't want to have the most powerful tools in the world in the original clan's hands, if that makes sense. So I could see a situation where Imu and the Celestials came from outer space. They came down to the blue planet and they saw the D-Clan. They saw the ancient weapon, or the ancient kingdom, with all these super powerful tools. Imu and the Godase, they're like, you know what? We don't want the power to be in your hands because you could do destructive things. Let's get 20 people together and take you down. I think like Oda is building, you know, that purpose intentionally from Frankie and Robin to then come to fruition for the history of the ancient kingdom.
Yo, man, I love that because when we first got into Egghead, to me it seems now we're going into this question of, does Vegapunk know the world government, or does Vegapunk know the ancient kingdom? Does that, because he's read the books and everything, does he know what's happened? And he's worked with the world government as well. So tying it back to what you said, it would be so crazy, like how you said, if the Will of D-Clan and the ancient kingdom, one reason that how do I say this, one reason the world government wanted to go against the D-Clan and the ancient kingdom was because specifically those weapons. Like if there was someone who, like a Blackbeard, let's say, like an evil D-Clan member who got his hands on an ancient weapon, started blowing up islands or whatever, it's just like you can't run the risk of something that powerful just existing, how you said. And it makes you want to think, like, was the world government really in the right or the wrong at that time? Because we don't really know what happened. Like, we know now that they're corrupted, we know now that they're evil. It would be a crazy twist if the world government was actually not fully evil at that time.
Now, your tangent kind of had something running through my mind. It seems like I'm starting to understand the position of Luffy, Blackbeard, and Imu. I feel like Luffy is the kind of person that where if he had his own country, it would be a free country, but he wouldn't tolerate crime. It seems like if Blackbeard had his own country, it would also be a free country, but he would tolerate crime. He would allow people to do evil things. And it seems like Imu would not want a free country because Imu doesn't want anybody to even have the chance to cause trouble and harm. I think that's going to be the interesting contrast between these three characters, and I think that's going to play into something like Luffy wanting to make his own pirate country because he wants people to be free, especially his closest friends, which again, this ties into Blackbeard. He's recently he said that him turning a pirate island into a pirate country is his dream. So I am picturing that, and this all ties back into the theme of not letting your enemy have power. It seems like there's a possibility Imu came down, you know, from the other planets, from the moon, something like that, and maybe Imu saw the D-Clan in the ancient kingdom have devil fruits, and maybe Imu and the you know, the 20 kings are like, yo, you guys can't be having devil fruits because, you know, let's just say someone in your kingdom eats a magma fruit, you're gonna cause all this trouble, you're gonna kill everybody. But Joy Boy is like, look, people in my country have freedom, but once they do something bad, then they get dealt with. So I think that's gonna be the interesting dynamic between these three characters.
Man, that was fire, bro, because when it comes to Luffy and Blackbeard, when you see Blackbeard say that you're trying to crush my dreams, right? And he says he wants to make a pirate kingdom. I've always believed that Luffy's dream was to create a pirate kingdom as well. I don't know what you think his dream is. I'm sure you have something different, but for me, it's like Luffy is the true embodiment of a pirate, and so is Blackbeard. Like, these two characters are the opposites but the same. And how you said, if they both want to create a pirate kingdom, it would be different in how they do it, but it would still be a pirate kingdom at the end of the day. Like Blackbeard, I feel like how you said, more anarchy, more chaos, and more crime as well, how you said. And Luffy, I think the main thing is like freedom. Like, he doesn't want slaves, he doesn't want too much crime going on. But he wants it to be more fun and just and being able to be free to do what you want. And then as far as like tying that back in, I think it's interesting how Blackbeard, he wants to do it in like a kind of a cheating way. You know, he wants to do it by going to the world government and saying, make the pirate island a pirate kingdom. But Luffy wants to do it the right way. Like, he wants to make an actual kingdom for himself, not by the world government, not by doing it in this like cheating way. He wants to do it the right way by finding the One Piece. I don't know what his plan is, but I feel like it's a lot different from how Blackbeard approaches it.
Yeah, man. I'm working on this Luffy's mom video. It's going to be dropping sooner than anyone in the chat thinks. It's going to be dropping extremely soon. But the next video after that is actually this topic, Luffy's dream, Blackbeard's dream. And I do think his dream is the goal of making his own pirate country. This is one of the theories that I have so much confidence in, and me on a personal level as a One Piece fan, you know, someone that likes good theories, that gets excited, that cares about the truth, that cares about the facts, that wants to see something that actually could happen. This theory really excites me. And I do want to kind of throw in a little teaser. It's just like, we know that Blackbeard said he wanted to make a pirate island a pirate country. And when they turned him down and said it was impossible, he responded by saying, "Don't crush my dreams."
My dreams, yeah,
so,
bro. That's the one right there.
Yeah, and he's essentially saying, what I like to do is I read closely at One Piece and I summarize the whole thing. What we could summarize this to is Blackbeard is saying, my dream is to make a pirate country. So, hey, world government, make this island a pirate country. So you think about how Luffy and Blackbeard have been foil characters the whole story. One likes orange soda, one likes meat, one likes cherry pies. It seems like to me that again, Luffy's version of a pirate country is free people, because remember, Luffy wants to be the pirate king, the most free man. He needs to be the pirate king first in order to create a pirate country.
Bro, I'm 100% like the same, bro. The same thing, bro. The same thing ran through my mind. Like, I know, like they say, like great minds think alike and stuff. Like, bro, exactly the same stuff has been going through my mind with this stuff, man. Because, like what you said is the same like I've been thinking about this for a while now, and it's just, bro, like I can't wait till you drop that video, bro. I'm like 100% for it, man. Like I'll be the first one in the comments. Like this is I feel like, because people wanted to be with Luffy's dream someday a little bit different, but with Blackbeard being Luffy's foil, it really gives you the opportunity to just say, okay, now if this is Blackbeard's dream, how you said, just look at Luffy. And how would it be similar, but just a little bit different?
Two sides of the same coin. And like I said, there's so many pieces of evidence that I want to talk about so bad, but I just can't leak it. It does transition into something. It transitions into something that could be the One Piece, and I think it could be related to Luffy's dream. Now, when you think about, I'm just gonna give a little bit and then we could go on to another topic, but if you think about how Luffy wants to create a free country, aka a pirate country, that's what he would call it. You think about Nami's reaction during chapter 1060. Nami said, Luffy, that sounds just like you. Think about Luffy, I want to be pirate king, I want to be pirate king, I want to be pirate king, over and over and over again. When Nami hears that, she's gonna be like, oh, you want to make a pirate country? Well, yeah, that sounds like you, right? So keep that in mind. Now, Luffy ate the sun god Nika fruit. This was revealed in chapter 1044, the chapter naming Luffy the warrior of liberation, right? Warrior of liberation. When you think about how Luffy's dream could be to make a free country, what's a free country in real life? America, the United States. What do you see when you migrate to the United States a lot of time? What do you see at the entrance? The Statue of
Liberty. Yeah.
The Statue of Liberty. That's why Luffy is the warrior of liberation, just like Nika. So the possibility of the Statue of Liberty being a statue of Nika / Luffy fulfills all the moments that Luffy said he wanted a statue of himself. The proof that the free country, a pirate country, existed in the past. It's kind of like in Planet of the Apes, when they found the Statue of Liberty, Luffy could find a statue of himself, the Statue of Liberation, but it's Nika, while Luffy thinks it's himself.
Yeah, bro, that's fire for sure, bro. I don't want, like, because I can see where you're going with this, bro. I don't want to get into it, because when you're saying the One Piece and stuff, you know, we had the Laugh Tale video before, and I can see, bro, I'm telling you, like, me and you have the same kind of, like, similar ideas, bro. I don't want you to give it away right now. I can see where you're going with it. It's fire, bro. It's fire. And I guess like just quickly before, so we can kind of move away from this before you spill the whole video.
I know, I'm trying not to, bro.
No, yeah, if I can see where you're going. It's fine. No, but going into this idea of like the pirate kingdom, we can move away from Luffy real quick and think about could that be what the ancient kingdom was? This giant nation of pirates, right? This giant kingdom of pirates just having fun. And if you think about it, if Joy Boy created it originally, Luffy would also kind of create his own version of that. Now, if you look at Roger, right? Roger said, "I wish I lived in your era." It's like so perfect because Roger to me is another character like Blackbeard and Luffy, where he's the most piratey character, right? And if he's seen the Ancient Kingdom, of course he's gonna want to see of course he would want to live in that era because it's an island of pirates. Of course, that's like the perfect place for Roger. And with Luffy, you could look at it both ways. Like, are they talking about Joy Boy from the past and his ancient kingdom? But it could also be that in Laugh Tale they learned about like the future, like they learned about Joy Boy's pirate kingdom, and now Luffy is also going to create another one. So when he's saying like, "I wish I lived in your era," maybe it's saying because he also said we're 20 years too early, right? So if it's possible that in Laugh Tale we learn about Luffy and also Joy Boy as like or we learn about him being the next Joy Boy, not like his name, but we just find out there's another Joy Boy coming, and that might be why Roger was so excited.
Yeah, because I totally agree. It does seem like there was a Joy Boy in the past, and now, of course, Luffy's being named Joy Boy by, characters like Zunisha. So I think Oda could be referring to both these characters at the same time, and maybe this does connect to a statue of liberation, of Nika, but looks just like Luffy, because they're probably one of the same. I'm expecting Nika and Joy Boy to look like Luffy. What about you? Do you agree with that take, or do you think they might actually have their own kind of design?
I think it will be a little bit different because here's one thing that people say. I don't know if I feel like I don't want to give away too much, but here I'll just say this real quickly. In Fishman Island, right, we see Joy Boy, and a lot of people say like, "Oh, that's Joy Boy from the past," because we assumed at that time that's Joy Boy, and we didn't know that Luffy was Joy Boy yet at that time. But if you look at it, to me, it looks more similar to Luffy. Like it looks like it could be an older Luffy, like maybe 10 years older, or even like 5 years older. And if that is Luffy, then we still don't really know how Joy Boy looked. We saw the silhouette in I think it was Wano. We saw another silhouette, but that to me also looks like it could be the Nika form. So it could be that he looks like Luffy, but I feel like Oda's still saving that for us to not know yet.
Yeah. That didn't even cross my mind. When you say Joy Boy, are you talking about the silhouette when they talk about the island being burnt down? Is that what you're?
I was talking about when Robin first
and she
out about Joy Boy.
She read the apology.
Yeah, and then you hear them talking about Joy Boy. I forgot exactly what it was, but to me, I feel like that could have been Luffy that they were talking about.
she so technically that was made in the future. She's reading it in the past.
Yeah, because in Fishman Island we also have this whole thing of like prophecies. We have Madame Charlie. So I do think that was Luffy they were talking about, but I guess that's just like a different point of view.
Okay, I get you. On to another topic though. Mr. Bushido with the 5. We'll explain Bonnie theory on this after stream, but what are thoughts on Wang Shi being the man marked by flames?
The only issue I have with Wang Shi is we have to bring it back to the poneglyph once again. If Blackbeard already beat Wang Shi, then that means he already has 4 poneglyphs. I guess that could be possible. It could be, but if that's true, then I don't know. Like, because the way I see it is that we still have to go to Elbaf. We still have a lot to do, so I don't see how Blackbeard could just have 4 poneglyphs without stopping the entire story. Like, if that's true, then Luffy has to fight Blackbeard right now. Like right at the Egghead, you have to go to Hachinosu and confront him.
Yeah, those same thoughts have been running through my mind for a while. It's just like, does Blackbeard have the 4th? I don't know, man. I know there's theories, and you know there's that occasional take where people say Blackbeard's gonna become Pirate King, and then Luffy has to, you know, beat Blackbeard after that. I don't know if I fall in line with that. I feel like Oda kind of set the expectation. We'll see Luffy crowned as Pirate King. Something like that doesn't really strike me as Pirate King, because the whole concept throughout the story is they have to reach this final island and find this amazing treasure. If Blackbeard gets to it first, then it's like that whole dynamic is completely shifted, and now it's more so like, okay, you want to be Pirate King, fight this bad guy. It kind of in a way takes away from, you know, the expectations, you know, of reaching that final island. So, you know, it might just be the scenario where, you know, the Straw Hats and the Blackbeard Pirates at the same time hear about where the final poneglyph is. You know, they both rush there and they butt heads there, and then that's the battle for Pirate King. Oda might just take that safe approach.
Yeah, Blackbeard, he does seem, from what we've seen before, he does have this idea that he wants to avoid as much risk as possible. So.
And Ronnie with the 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate you. W Ronnie. And Mr. Bushido with another 2. Law knows MBF man. Oh, marked by flames. Law knows marked by flames man. Look at the panel kid mentions. Yeah, I think Law did have a reaction, right?
It seems like he was trying to, you know, put his head down and act like he didn't know, but I feel like he did know.
Yeah, I think I remember that battle too. I think there was a Robin panel even to the left of Law. Yeah, that's interesting. Man, we need to like actually sit down and make a list of all the details, you know, because there's just so many that it's kind of hard to have all of them in your mind and then, like, you know, shoot for it, I guess.
For sure, yeah.
Did you hear about you know, the whole theory about Mihawk possibly having a burn scar, and Mihawk is the burn scar man? Have you heard about that?
That could be interesting. It makes me wonder, like, why would Mihawk have a poneglyph? You know, why would he not, like, is he going after the One Piece? I don't know. I guess it makes sense if actually, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that will work, to be honest.
Yeah, him guarding it would be kind of weird, because he seems like a guy that just solo doing his own thing. You know, when you question Fishman Island, it's like, okay, why would Mihawk go there and grab it? Like, why would he be invested? He's never had any remarks about, like, the concept of a Pirate King. So it would be kind of weird that he would guard it. Do you think the same thing applies to Whitebeard and his crew, or no?
I think with Whitebeard is different, because I feel like he knew what the One Piece was, right? So he kind of knew the importance of it. I think he wanted Ace to be the Pirate King and find the One Piece. So I think it's a little different. Like, he knows what it is. Mihawk doesn't know, and it's like the thing where, like, Whitebeard knew that when he found out what the One Piece was from Roger, he was like, yeah, I don't want to find it. I don't need to find it, because I already know, and it's not my journey, you know. So I think he was saving it for the right time and the right person. But it's just interesting, like, even though he tried doing that, it didn't end up the way he wanted. Like, we still, now the poneglyph goes missing, right? And we don't know what happened to it. But yeah, like, it's just, I think he was trying to make Ace the Pirate King, but it just didn't work out. Okay.
Yeah, I could see that. Moving on to the next super chat though, Ronnie with the 10. Tyante Black says the man marked by flames is going to be connected to Norse mythology. The ship that's pitch black is probably Odin, and Loki's ship is called, I have no clue how to say that word. Look up that ship. I wish I knew how to pronounce this word, Preach, but I have no clue what this word is. Let me DM it to you. Maybe you've seen this before.
check it out.
This, I guess it's the ship of Loki. I have no idea how to say that word.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but I've never seen that word either. So.
Have you personally looked into Norse mythology, that whole Nordic stuff? Have you dove into that?
Yeah, I looked a little bit into it. Like the tier stuff, Shank's tier, like just like the more basic things that a lot of theories know.
Yggdrasil.
Yeah, like there's a few of the. I mean, I played God of War like 4 months ago, and that was fun. So it kind of got me into it, and I started looking into Norse stuff from that. But yeah, I haven't looked too much into it, but I do think there's definitely going to be some inspiration for Elbap from that.
For sure, man. I'm looking forward to learn about. I'm looking forward to seeing Loki. Hopefully there's some kind of Odin counterpart. That'd be really interesting. And as far as like the man with the man marked by flames, he could be a new character, as some people speculated. Maybe it's even Loki. This could be a really good, what do you call it? A really good entrance, a really good introduction. Because Loki's been built up this whole time, all the way back since what? Thriller Bark?
I think Whole Cake was. I don't remember before Whole Cake, but I do remember the Whole Cake Island.
Okay, definitely Whole Cake. I might be tripping with the Thriller Bark. I think Thriller Bark might just be Lola and Big Mom.
Oh, yeah,
Nah, I think it was Thriller Bark, bro. I might be tripping hard, but let me see. I swear they meant. No, I was wrong. Damn, I'm tripping. I'm like fantasizing a whole episode, bro.
I wanna I wanna ask you this real quick because it's just like kind of random, but I've just been noticing it in the last 2 chapters. What do you think about Bogard? Like, do you think Oda just forgot about him? Do you think he'll be important, or what do you think about that?
Bogard, okay. He looks really cool. He looks interesting. He might play a role in the story. I never sat down and even talked about him or thought about him. I would probably consider him irrelevant. He hasn't really done anything.
Yeah.
But maybe I overlooked something. I'm interested to learn about Bogard.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of funny, like he's become famous as like a meme and people love him, but I think the one relevant thing is that he trained Kobe and Helmeppo, and it's kind of weird to me, like seeing he trained them with Garp and then he's not even showing up to help Kobe. So it's like, that was kind of weird, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like it does feel like Oda either forgot about him or I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, man. He does seem interesting. Hopefully he's used. Do you care about Kong at all? Is that someone you want to see fight or do anything?
Kong, yeah, I mean, it's Kong. I feel like he has to be strong, man. Like he has to be at least like Admiral level, even like Fleet Admiral level, like up there with the strongest Marines that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like it's just interesting to see because he I think the one time we did see him, he wanted to make Garp an admiral.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wondered, like, what was Kong during the God Valley stuff? Like, why was he not
fighting
rocks? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like it's like, what was he doing at that time?
If I do the math right, Kong would probably be Fleet Admiral during God Valley, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So it seems like to me, Fleet Admirals is like it's like 100% a political position. They're the ones that lead the admirals. They're the ones that call the shots. And every time you see any kind of like authoritative figure go to an island, it's either an admiral or a vice admiral. You don't see the fleet admirals really go to islands. I guess you have that one exception with Aki Inu and Bonnie and Blackbeard, that whole little thing. But other than that, like you see Green Bull at Wano, Kizaru at Sabaody and Egghead, Aokiji and Aki Inu at Ohara. Very rarely does the fleet admiral, actually go out. So, maybe during God Valley, like that's why we don't see Kong. He was the fleet admiral.
That's definitely true. And you just brought up Bonnie too. I had a theory, like why does Bonnie keep escaping? Like, why is she showing up in the reverie like that? Why is Akainu like saying, "Oh, we can never catch you. You always escape"? And like for me, I've been starting to think more and more that Bonnie could maybe have some celestial dragon past. Because it's like, bro, like how did Akainu, like how you said, Akainu went to go personally himself, and somehow she still escaped even when he said that. Like he told her to her face, like, you keep escaping, you've been a problem for us. And then she does it again. So like I think that it could be a possibility. Um, and I was thinking maybe that's one reason why Kuma didn't want Bonnie to know about the flashback. Why he didn't want her to see it.
Yeah. I think like what might be super important about Bonnie, the thing that might even be the reason they're hardcore chasing her, is I think Bonnie might actually have the Toki Toki no Mi. I don't know if that's ever crossed your mind.
Is that the Toki's fruit? No?
Yeah, I think Oda could pitch this situation where everything we've seen Bonnie do specifically is just standard time, right? But what everything Toki did jumping in the future, that's the awakening.
Yo, bro, I never thought about that, bro. That's fire, bro.
Yeah, and that would mean that Bonnie and Toki had the better version of Shinobu's fruit.
That's insane. Yo, and that because we never even learned Bonnie's fruit name.
We never learned Bonnie's fruit name, so maybe they're like, oh, not only are you the daughter of Tyrant Kuma, but you also have the Toki Toki fruit. Like if that was the case, that literally answers like several things at the same time.
That's a fire theory, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like that's one of the best theories I've heard in a long time, bro.
Appreciate it, because that's been on my mind for a long time. I'm like, man, like, because when you think about what Bonnie does, she's just doing is altering time. You know, it's like making something young, you're like lowering it on the time scale. Making something old, you're raising it.
Bro, that's so true, because if you think about it, like how you said with the awakening, the time fruit awakening is going in time, right? But it's kind of it's a weird fruit. Like if that can't be the only use for it, you know what I'm saying? Like that can't be. Toki couldn't just be only using that to go in time. Like she was still fighting pirates. Sometimes they were trying to capture her. Like she was still able to survive, and it just makes so much sense. Like there has to be other ways to utilize time besides just skipping in time, and that literally is what Bonnie's doing. She's just changing time into like another dimension, another alternate universe, another timeline. Bro, this is like a fire theory, bro. This is insane, bro.
You know, insane. One of my favorite things about it is you think about Toki, you always have the question, what's Toki's awakening? Can Toki go back in time? I think me personally, I don't think Oda would add like a backwards, go back in time kind of thing in One Piece, especially with the Toki fruit. So if you look at Bonnie and you look at Toki and you argue that Bonnie's powers is standard Toki Toki no Mi and Toki's way of using it is the awakened version, that explains why you can't go back in time. The awakened version of the fruit is going forward in time. So now you have it like a different perspective where you're looking at Toki and you're like, she's awakened. That's not regular Toki Toki. That's the awakened.
And that's such a dope idea, because if you think about it too, like we look at Luffy's fruit, right? Let's just say hypothetically someone else got Luffy's fruit. I'm guessing there had to be at least someone in the last 900 years who had it. But Luffy is the only Joy Boy that we've seen that just came back. So if someone did have like another fruit of Luffy, like if someone else used Luffy's fruit, they would probably use it differently. And you could say the same thing for a lot of different devil fruits. It's actually interesting to think, like every devil fruit user uses it for their specific way, but if you put it to someone with a different personality, someone stronger or weaker, it changes a lot of variables of how they use it.
Yeah, 100%, man. It also answers like what happened to the Toki no Mi. If Bonnie had it, then it's like, okay, well that's also solved. This is so many things. But I'm glad you fuck with the theory. I might have to just like throw it
I
on
love that, man.
TikTok, because I don't know if I could crack down on a whole video unless you have some ideas that we could collab or something. I don't know.
I would, bro. I would make a video like that on my channel, bro. If you want to collab, that is just such a dope theory, man.
100%, bro.
Yeah,
Anything
it
that
would
we
be hard, like you're right, because it's Bonnie. It's kind of a weird thing, but I think we could maybe try to figure something out, a way to put that together.
maybe we could use Kuma and Bonnie on like the forefront, because I know a lot of people are waiting for the Kuma backstory. Maybe we learned that this theory is true. We learned that Bonnie has the Toki Toki no Mi because maybe there's a situation on Egghead. Maybe she's about to die or something bad's gonna happen, and she's like crying and she's freaking out, and she like teleports into the future.
Bro,
and then we're like, oh shit, like
yo, that's fire.
So maybe we can kind of take something from that, maybe throw Kuma in the mix somehow. I don't know. It feels like there's so much to this.
Bro, I just thought of something. Bro, this is nuts, bro. Like, do you remember when we first saw Bonnie?
Yes.
And
Sabaody
like, came out that was it like a world? No, I'm talking about like an Egghead, bro. When she first popped up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you imagine if she accidentally did that already? Like, she just teleported, and then that's why she was like flying out of that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy because we never learned how that happened,
bro. That's what, bro. This is fire, bro. This could actually be a good video. Yo, because she was with Sabo, so, and I'm guessing like she knows what happened with Sabo. She was going to tell Luffy, but she never told him. And I've been waiting for that for a while. But it's like, how did she escape? Like, if she was with Sabo during that time, how did she escape? It could have been like a reactionary awakening, and then she teleported into like that whirlpool or something. I don't know how it would work, but it was kind of strange the way she just randomly just popped up out of nowhere.
Hey, you know what we could do, bro? On some creator shit, bro. Let's just make a video about like what we think Kuma's backstory is gonna have, because I have a whole bunch of thoughts about that. And let's just throw the whole like Toki no Mi thing into it. It's gonna be like a little bonus for the viewers. They're gonna get their Kuma stuff, but they're gonna simultaneously hear this gas, because we got something with the Bonnie theory. That's what we got to do, bro.
All right, yeah, but no, this is a dope idea, man. We'll definitely talk about this. You know, we'll keep in touch on this. I don't know, cause, bro, when you first told me that, like I'm saying, like I've been looking for videos, man. I've been wanting you to come back, cause it's just always fun to see theories, cause people got so much unique ideas, and oh man, like this is such a dope idea, man.
Appreciate it, bro. We do have another super chat from Jonathan. Stream is too fire. We had to bail from work early. Yo, no way this man left his job early. This man is hilarious, bro. All right, we're gonna probably wrap this up in like 15 more minutes, I'm thinking, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
All right, bet. So we could just probably take like speed questions, like rapid questions from the chat, or if there's anything, any theories or anything you wanted to tell the stream.
Not a theory, but I want to shout out One Piece University. You know, I do a podcast over there every Friday. We're doing one today, so hopefully you guys can come by tonight. We do them at 5:30 Pacific time, so it is kind of later, but yeah, man, just stop by. Go subscribe to the channel as well, and yeah, we're trying to get to 1,000 subs. We're already at 700, but yeah, go check that out. We talk about the chapters, we talk about other topics when it's a break week, and you know, 3's been on there one time, and it's just a fun time, man.
Yes, I can co-sign OPU, guys. Go subscribe to One Piece University. They've been grinding really hard every single week. Preach is a part of that team. Shout out to John Sherrod and everyone there, Crow, Prince, everyone there. They've been grinding and been making fire content. And like he said, I was on their channel like maybe like 3 weeks ago, something like that. Not too long ago. They got some heat going on over there. But yeah, we got another super chat from Axe. Maybe man marked by flames is a rogue Godase member, making them the Rokusei, because we have the Rokushiki, 6 marine powers, like the stream. Yo, what do you think about that?
I did see the idea of like the sixth Godase being like the Rokusei. I mean, I guess it goes with like the wordplay and everything. It goes with it, but I think you made a video about the 6 Godase, right?
Well, I had a video that Shanks' father was a Godase and he died and someone took that spot.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I think that one's like still on the table. I guess it's somewhat related to Rokusei in a way, kind of. I mean, do you remember like a while back how we did that video about the Godase, that one Godase member betraying?
Traitor, yeah.
That could be on the table.
I think that's a good. I think that could still happen because, bro, I'm telling, like, just that one panel where they like is he looks a little bit concerned. Like, excuse me, he looks like, to me, the Godase, the way I see it is, we don't really know the story of behind how they became it, but they don't look like traditional celestial dragons, right? So they had to become celestial dragons somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think over time you become, you might think it's one thing at first, and then it's like over time you have to do like the Ohara incident, like stuff like that really changes your perception of what they're doing. So I do think like that one incident and others as well, like Leloucia, like these things over time kind of weigh on your heart and they weigh on your mind. It's like it just takes a toll because you're the one making the decisions. And it's like those lives are resting on your decision. So I feel like there still could be like if it gets to a point in the final saga, like they have to do something so crazy where it's like this is just too much, you know what I'm saying? So that he might betray them.
Yeah, there's so many clues when it comes to that theory. So I don't know, like if he I don't even actually, yeah, even though I think he might betray the Godase, I don't know if I could actually believe that he would have the final poneglyph, like him being the man marked by flames, like a Godase member. That would be kind of weird. I guess I see why Axe said Rokusei. I guess I see why he said that.
Yeah.
But Axe did have another super chat saying, by EOS, Buggy will be known as Joy Boy. He's a clown.
Yo, shout out to Wizard of Wars, man. He made a video about that long ass time. I think it was during the time when Buggy got announced as a Yonko. He was like making a video about Buggy and the similarities with Nika. It would be pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, because I would prefer it if Luffy was known and respected as Joy Boy eventually. But the thing is Luffy doesn't want the recognition. He doesn't want the fame. He doesn't really care too much about being the hero, even though he is. So I could see it where like Buggy's actually the one that they put the face to Nika, even though it's Luffy.
Okay, I could get behind that. Someone in chat did say Im Sama, is she an extraterrestrial? And the straw hat, does it not form a UFO? I actually have a video about Imu being the moon god of One Piece. I went really deep on Kaguya from Japanese lore, and there's a lot of connections between what Imu has going on with the Celestial Dragons, as well again with Kaguya. But even if you look into Naruto, that character of Kaguya, she too has a lot of things in common with Imu, right? With that being said, you know, you got to question like how deep does it go? Because there's a detail about Kaguya from Japanese lore where it says that she actually had a flying saucer. Like, this is in Japanese mythology, right? You think about what happened to Leloucia. There was something dark in the sky. The citizens didn't know what was going on. Boom, just a whole bunch of thunderbolts, whatever the hell it was, lasers, whatever you want to call it, destroyed the island. Like, something was up there that caused that. So, you know, again, if Imu's gonna relate to someone like Kaguya a lot, and we know that Kaguya had a UFO and spaceship. Maybe that applies to Imu. You look at the Straw Hat upside down, it looks like a flying saucer. Or even if you visit volume 1 of One Piece, Oda's having an alien mask on, like a whole alien head, and he's talking about like all this like this goofy stuff. It's just like, I feel like Oda would go the kind of direction in One Piece to be like, yeah, the One Piece world, the blue planet, had an alien invasion. Here are the celestial dragons, and they had a UFO. I feel like Oda would be willing to do something like that.
Yo, that first page, man, when you open that first page, it always freaked me out. It's like, what is this, bro? Like, this has nothing to do with One Piece. And the thing is, Oda is a conspiracy guy, bro. Like, he believes in aliens. He believes in all of this stuff. Like he adds these things into One Piece. So I could see it, like especially with the celestial dragons, a lot of ties to space and stuff. So yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yes, sir. Jin Mark says, what do you think the incident at Egghead will be?
I think it's, if you put it this way, the incident is already so crazy. Like, we have Vegapunk now betraying the world government, right? I think what the incident is going to be is, I think Vegapunk will die, and I think while he dies, he's going to have a similar death to like Roger. Not in the sense of like he is the GOAT like Roger, but in the sense that he's going to say a valuable piece of information. This guy knows about the ancient kingdom. He knows so many things. He studied all the books that were at Ohara, and he's had it all in his mind for this whole time, and he has these theories and stuff. So I think Vegapunk knows something so important that he's going to expose in his final words, and I think that will start the entire final saga. Maybe that's how we go into like go look for the man marked by flames after this. I think that will be the event that like finally brings everything into motion. Like, we now see the revolutionaries getting involved, and also if you think about it, because Kuma's tied to Vegapunk as well. We know Dragon is. I don't know if Dragon will come. I do think he could, but I've been wanting him to come because if you involve Dragon in this, then it's like Luffy's now tied into a war with the world government, because Dragon's already in a war with them. If now Dragon comes and saves Luffy at the very end, somehow gets there at the last second, if something like that happens, now Luffy is Yonko is directly tied with the revolutionaries against them, and it's just like a crazy war now at this point.
Yeah, I like everything you had just said, man. I totally agree with every point you hit.
Yeah, appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, the Dragon, man, I'm so ready to like see him in action, bro. What's his devil fruit? What's the hockey? Well, what's the truth behind his wife? Like, we gotta get that Dragon hit, bro. Sooner or later, Oda's gonna have to give us that Dragon chapter, bro.
And I think the perfect time is Egghead, and it doesn't have to be like the whole arc. It can really be in like the last chapters of Egghead, because in the beginning we saw Vegapunk call Dragon, right? And he said like, I'm going to die. So there was already that kind of little like hint that maybe Dragon's connected to this. And then we also see Dragon in the flashback with Vegapunk. Like, there's already been more Dragon in this arc that we've ever seen. So I feel like this is the perfect time.
Yes, sir. I do agree with that, but I think this is where we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you to everyone that came to the stream and watched, and was in the chat. I've been reading it this whole time. Shout out to everyone there, man. Axe, Tayante, John, Johan, countless people, and everyone that super chatted, like Ronnie, Mr. Bushido, Ryan, Jonathan, West, Young Usopp. Thank you, everybody. And also, most importantly, Preach, bro. I really appreciate you greatly, man. It's always a pleasure to, you send me that audio file and I throw that into Premiere and I'm like, oh my God, this dude is spitting, bro. It just like, even sending stuff over to you, bro, just working with you in general is always a pleasure. And I'm just so happy I got to get you on the stream, bro. So thank you for your time and everything, bro.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me on. And, like I said, you like inspired me when I first started. And it was cool to meet you and just build this thing together. Like I feel like without you helping me out and teaching me a few things and just like collabs and stuff, like I feel like it really pushed me in the right direction. So just from that alone, like just that alone, thank you. And it's like we got the same kind of similar stuff, like theory, mindset, you know what I'm saying? So I've always thought of it like me and you, we came up in the same similar time. We're like from that same generation of One Piece YouTubers, and I consider you like a rival, kind of like not in like a weird way, but just like competitive way. You know what I'm saying? Like
on some worst gen shit.
Yeah, man. No, but it's definitely been fun coming up with you guys, and just the conversations we had, just everything, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
of course, man. Totally agree. And yeah, man. So again, guys, everyone have a nice day. More content. New content is on the way. Any final other things you want to throw in there, bro, before we close out?
Yeah, just go check out my channel, Marshall D Preach. Doing a lot of new stuff over there, but we still got some long theories in the works. We got a lot of stuff like that. If you like theories like threes, you can definitely check our stuff out as well. You can find me on Twitter as well. You can find me in the Discord, OPU Discord. And yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. All right, everybody. Peace out.